Will tariffs silently eat your profits? Whether or not you buy products, parts, or materials from the US, you may still face higher costs due to the ongoing trade war. There are four tariff drivers of higher costs. A couple of them are not so obvious. First, there's the obvious one of US products that are subject to Canadian counter tariffs. For example, produce bought from the US and resold here in Canada. Secondly, there are products from US suppliers who will have to pay US tariffs on the parts and materials sourced from Canada or other countries. For example, a washing machine bought from the US that uses steel sourced from Canada and electronic components sourced from China. Third, there are products from US suppliers who reshore their production to avoid paying US tariffs on parts and materials sourced from other countries and will produce their products at a higher cost as a result. For example, a computer bought from the US for resale whose production has been reshored from China. And fourth, and the least obvious one, is there are price increases from Canadian suppliers who have US suppliers upstream in their supply chains that fall under one or more of the above three situations. For example, bicycles bought from a Canadian supplier that have components sourced from the US. Notice how these tariffs can stack up as these scenarios are combined. A US product can increase in price because it is produced with parts and materials from Canada or other countries that are subject to US tariffs, while that higher priced product can then also be subject to Canadian counter tariffs, increasing its cost to companies and households here. The product's price could be further increased by the US company bringing some part of its production back into the US. While these scenarios will be avoided in many cases by companies switching to suppliers in Canada or other countries, the simple fact remains that production costs and prices are likely to increase. Companies source products, parts, and materials from companies in countries that can produce the quality of product they want at the lowest price due to their lower production costs there. As production is moved to other countries to avoid the high costs of tariffs, production costs and prices will increase, as long as those cost increases and capital investments are lower than the cost of the tariffs. As such, depending on the extent and amount of tariffs implemented and how long they are in place, virtually every prairie-based company will face higher supply costs in some way at some point over time. Note that indirect price increases, as in points 2, 3, and 4 that we've discussed, may take months, quarters, or years to materialize. The Bank of Canada estimates it will take up to 3 years for the pricing effects of US tariffs and Canadian counter tariffs to make their way through all parts of the Canadian economy. This could be further complicated and extended with US tariffs on other countries around the world. The bottom line is that as long as this trade war continues, prices and costs for everyone are likely to increase and significantly. For other ways to navigate these challenging times with confidence, get the free Complete Trade War Success Guide for small to mid-sized companies below. If you're a prairie-based CEO who wants to grow a thriving company through these turbulent times, more quickly, more easily, and with less stress and headaches, please contact me via the Connect page. I hope you found this useful.